everyone. If you please stand and join me for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good evening. Today is Monday, February 1st, 2021. The time being 5 p.m. The meeting of the Greensburg Board of Works is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey. It is available. Brenda, would you please call the roll?
Jamie Kane.
Here.
Rodney King.
Here.
Lynn Tenney.
Here.
Karen Nuss.
Okay. January 4th, 2021 minutes have been sent to you in your packets. Any additions, corrections, or edits?
Move approval.
Motion is made by Glenn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Rodney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, executive session minutes from January 14th, 2021. Any additions, edits, or corrections? If not, we'll take a motion to approve. Motion's been made by Glenn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. There being no old business, we'll go straight to new business. Molly Speer is here for Myla's mission 5K route. Good evening. Feel free to come on up to the podium. You can remove your mask if you'd like so that we can hear you in the mic. That would be fantastic.
Okay. So I am here to request approval for the route for Myla's fourth annual Myla's Mission for Surge Voter Awareness 5K. I think you guys all have the route. It's the one that we've done for the past years. So that route will go right Montgomery Road, by the Factories on Bear Shell Lane, back to Greensburg Elementary, Big Blue Avenue, and then go back into the flow will start at Decatur County Memorial Hospital on the primary fair parking lot. It's on May 15th, registration at 8 a.m. and start the 5K at 9 a.m. We don't need any road closures. We normally just have police help with traffic.
Any questions for Molly?
Did you already get approval or support from the police to support that?
We have not yet.
Chief, you have in the past helped with
Yes,
that.
we have in the past.
I guess maybe just thinking that roadway curves on Montgomery, would be better not closing it for 45 minutes to, that might be a better alternative than allowing traffic. I just thinking when you look where that route goes down Montgomery right there, because it goes right in front of GCOM, then comes around that bend, then goes down.
What time will it be?
It starts at 9 a.m. in the morning.
So like maybe between 9 and 10, maybe we close that section of the road. If you're at GCOM, they can get out off of Bear Shell. They would still be able to get in or get out off of Bear Shell. So you wouldn't really be blocking anybody with access. They just have to go a different way. Maybe
Historically, you've sort of done like just on the side of the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
We do on the side.
how many participants do you usually have?
Maybe 150. Yeah, that's been our highest.
Chief,
my
you-
suggestion was maybe we close the road. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
That's not going to be a ton with a lot of heavy flow from GCOM and Valley.
We're talking about Saturday from 9 to 10.
Valley always works on Saturdays. But I didn't know
Valley,
when their shift changes are.
But if you want to get in it, I'm just talking maybe like the Montgomery Road section there from, right there where it meets Bear Shell, and then it comes around down to like Davidson, right? That'd be my concern. That road there is just, the way that curve is right there, it just.
Okay. Chief, would you work with Molly to help facilitate what's best for that? Okay. Any other comments or questions? If not, we take a motion to approve the route for Myla's mission.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dee, second by Jamie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Up next, Chief Bridges with purchase of new vehicles.
I am requesting the board's approval to purchase 3 Ford Explorers. I did include paperwork on a quote from Don Meyer Ford. Like I said, that is a state bid, so I did not contact any other Ford dealerships. Like I said in the memo that I sent to everybody, the pricing of them would be $33,242.39, with a total of the 3 being $99,727.17. So that's what I'm requesting. This money is budgeted for 2021.
Just out of curiosity, I did check the other information. It was very reliable, the information you received.
Okay, any other questions?
I guess from a, is this more for Chris? Are we required to get more than one bid? I know what your statement here is, and even if we got more than one bid, we would most likely go this way. Are we required to have more than one bid?
I don't think so. If it's a state bid, we're fine getting just a single bid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Anything else? If not, take a motion to purchase the 3 vehicles as presented by the chief.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Rodney. Is there a second? Seconded by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Good, thank
Chief,
you.
thank you for doing your homework.
Not a problem, thanks.
Chief Stoermer, 2 different items. First up, conditional employment offer. Good evening.
Good evening. After our interviews and of candidates for the Greensburg Fire Department, here to request permission to extend a conditional offer to candidate 2 and 1 in that order.
Motion's been made by Jamie to hire the 2 on a conditional basis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Second item on the agenda, Fire Education Day.
Yeah, so on behalf of myself and the members of the Greensburg Fire Department, we would like to invite each and every one of you on Saturday, April 10th, to come out to the firehouse and be a firefighter for a day. We will be extending the offer to the City Council, to our state representatives, to our state senators, to the mayor, to the township trustee and the township trustees board, anybody that we provide service to. So we invite you out early that morning for a day of what it's like to be a firefighter. You'll be experiencing auto vehicle extrication. You will experience a live fire through the state's live fire burn simulator if you so wish. We will have live fire through extinguishers. If you don't want to do the live fire trailer, you will climb or ride your decision, a 105-foot ladder truck, as well as we will host a firehouse meal after all the activities are done, and then take any questions and provide some answers to anybody that may have. Again, that's going to be Saturday, April 10th, and we're going to be starting about 7:30 in the morning to get everybody fitted for gear and fit tested to make sure breathing apparatus fits okay. So we look forward to having you there. Thank you.
What happens if we fail the fit testing?
If you fail the fit testing, then you will be into, then you'll do the fire extinguishers instead of the live fire.
Okay.
Just to make sure you, make sure you have that
I just want to
seal.
make sure it's still placed for me.
Correct, absolutely, absolutely.
Just so you know, we do put people on probation.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I've been there before too.
you write those policies.
I know.
Yeah.
We will make sure that everybody has a place and everybody has something to do. If not, you can do 2 minutes of CPR. That would be just as well. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Okay, up next, Street Commissioner Mark Klosterkemper bids for the sale of flatbed. you want Chris to open them? Do you want them?
I'm on it, Chris, go ahead, help them. If you remember in December, we had a old obsolete truck. And we finally fought through getting the ad the way we needed to, advertise, and they could do it 5 o'clock today. I think we've got 4 or 5 bids.
Okay. This first one is Tim's Wrecker Service and Auto Repair Garage. The bid for Tim's Wrecker Service is $3,250.01. 050.01. This bid is by Eric Ryle. The bid amount is $2,500. This bid is by Eric Richardson. The bid is $3,535. 3535. This bid is received from Schaumburg Construction LLC, and it is $5,009. 5009. This bid is from Philip Viscella, Fiscella. And the bid amount is $2,501. That is all the bids.
We need to take those under advisement, or can we accept?
Nope, I think you should go with the highest one.
I was gonna say, my recommendation is pretty straightforward. I think 5,009 sounds really good.
Okay.
That's a
Sir.
big difference.
Yeah.
Well,
Sounds like Mr. Schaumburg bought a truck.
historically, for the last 4 years, we've always taken to the salvage yard or to Burkhardt. And I did check, just so you know, salvage yard offered 475 and the scrap yard was 260 based on weight. So I think 5,000 was pretty decent.
Did it include any accessories to the truck, or is it just the truck?
The truck as it is.
Okay.
The only thing we left off was the old strobe light on the top of it.
No spreader plow?
You know, flatbed was on it, stayed on it. We took the radio out of it. Decals have been removed.
Any other questions for Mark? If not, take a motion to accept this Schaumburg Construction bid for $5,009.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie, seconded by Rodney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you much.
Mr. Klosterkemper,
Yes, sir.
show your team, thank you for the great job they've done with the snow removals.
Well, I appreciate that. We're trying.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and hold it down. These are bid tabs for the next one.
Oh, okay. City engineer Ron May has CCMG Community Crossings Grant Matching Funds 2020-2. We did send these out a while back and have received the following bids, I believe, for our project. So I think, Ron, are you going to sit up here or somewhere? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You all right if I move over here, Dee? Ron, I'm gonna move over here, my Dee.
You're supposed to pass this to you, Jim. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, the first bid is received from Milestone Contractors. Time receipt on the bid is 4:40 p.m. So am I doing a bid, a final total bid, or do you want the individual? Total bid. Okay, total bid from Milestone Contractors is $257,120. 257,120. And this appears to be a complete bid. The next bid received from All Star Paving Incorporated. Time received is 4:15. Total bid amounts, $232,737.98. 232,737.98. This also appears to be a full, or a complete bid. Okay, this bid is received from Dave O'Mara Contractor Incorporated. It was originally received at 2:20 p.m. It appears that it was opened at 4:12 p.m. to insert a revised bid form 96. Total bid amount, $206,972.90. 206,972.90. This appears to be a complete bid. Next one is Paul H. Rowe Company, Company Incorporated, that is ROHE. Time received is 3:49 PM. Total bid amount, $222,604. 222604. I believe this is a complete bid. Final bid is from Globe Asphalt Paving Company Incorporated, received at 10:10 a.m. Total bid amount, $225,916.75. 225,916.75. This also appears to be a complete. That is all the bids.
Okay, having 5 bids submitted, we will take, need a motion to take these under advisement. Ron and Mark will review. Motion's been made by Glenn, seconded by Jamie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Up next, Ron, you have approval.
Everyone's information. The engineer's estimate was $237,451.49. I'm sorry, I'm on that 236,451.49.
Thank you.
Okay. Ron, so we have in your packet, I believe, a approval of application for progress payment number 1 on the renovation bonds. Do you have anything you'd like to add for that?
No, not really. This is the first application for payment on the project. There is a 5% retainage on the contract. So the gross amount is $167,134.95, and the net considered for payment is $158,778.20.
Okay. Any discussion on payments for payment application number 1?
You had, the bond was sold, Brenda?
Yes.
So we have for
Yes. Okay. Motion's been made by Glenn. Is there a second?
second.
Seconded by Rod. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you. Up next, Brenda Dwenger, who's our treasurer, for discussion on Civic Plus contract.
May I just stay here, please? Thank you. Okay, so we talked last year regarding the software system for the city of Greensburg, that it was antiquated. There's so many things that you cannot do with that system. I put it in my budget was approved, and so therefore, I talked with Keystone. They did not offer any additions to the system than what they currently have that would help us and to put all of our systems together within the city for the planning and water and the clerk treasurer's office. Right now, the water office is preparing their monthly work, and we're double entering that into our system. With the Civic system, they have a flow into our system to be able to do that. Also, I contacted LAO, which is what the county uses as their software system, and they cannot cover what we have. They can't do anything with the water. So I talked to Civic Systems. They came down, made a presentation to both of the ladies in my office, talked with Donna for a short time, showed us exactly what we could move forward with, and it's a good system. I've talked to people who use this system within the state of Indiana. Reedy, which is our financial advisors, they have other cities as clients that use this system. In fact, Reedy is the company that gave me this name. This is backed by Baker Tilly. They're a subsidiary of Baker Tilly. What we would be getting in our office is a general ledger, accounts payable, the payroll with human services, a dashboard so that all of our department heads can download into it. They can go into it and see their own information. They have fingertip control of knowing where their budgets are and what their fund amounts are to be. So I would like, what I'd like to do is to request your approval of my signing the contract with them.
This was within the budget.
Yes, it is definitely within the budget. I did get an updated rate today because, and it is $8,000 less than what you saw in your packet.
For the system or for, that's not the ongoing annual fee?
No, it's the system, because we will only be paying for 5 concurrent users for the clerk treasurer's office, and the other offices would be paying through their budgets for their own user fee. So that's how we got that.
So this is the initial user fee or the ongoing?
It is the license, the Connect license fees to connect us all together.
Did you find any deficiencies in the program that causes you any concern?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. Betsy Wiley is my deputy who is here with, and she does our accounts payable and accounts receivable. She was very, Betsy?
I was really pleased with it.
Good.
It's much user-friendly, and to be able to work with the other offices will be a benefit, less mistakes.
And Julie's been out because of COVID, so she is really with the payroll and how the department heads can download directly into the system instead of filling out forms and bring them in every Monday morning. They can download into the system their payrolls from each department head that we work with. I looked hard and long for it. In fact, this process really of my investigating started last July.
So the 8,000 will be paid, but paid out of the budget, not in this contract. Is that what you're saying?
It's away from this contract. It's not a part of this contract at all.
It wasn't necessary,
Oh.
because what Sarah's gonna talk about is a separate contract with the building office on the same platform, but it's in the building budget. So it doesn't need to be on. Yes, it's gonna be paid for by others, but we don't need that many.
Okay.
What's this? Yeah, so it
was 68,900 for the Connect license, and it's 16,900.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah, see it?
And then that makes the annual support less. The
For
annual,
you, but will be paid from insurance budgets.
the other offices that use the program would be.
Yeah. 6.5 doesn't matter.
It's all general fund money. Other questions for Brenda? If not, we'd take a motion to approve purchase of the Civic system for Brenda's office.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Jamie. Is there a second? Seconded by Dee. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Up next, Sarah Hamer, Building Commissioner. First up, we have the agreement with American Structurepoint for the comprehensive plan and unified development ordinance. Good evening.
Moving this down because sitting back there, you can hardly hear anybody, so I'll try to speak more into it. So I come tonight, you should have found in your packets a contract with American Structurepoint for our comprehensive plan and a unified development ordinance. That money has been budgeted in the building planning and zoning budget. It was approved. And on the back page, you'll see for a total for all of that would be $220,500. The bottom part on the last page for economic development, that's going to be done separately at their cost, so that doesn't go into the add-on to the $220,500. I have Grant from Structurepoint here with you this evening. If there's any questions that I can answer that he could possibly answer, we're ready to get going on this and just need to contact the group.
Could you talk a little bit about how Structurepoint was selected?
Yeah, we went through an interview process. Well, we had sent out RFQs for, there was about 5 or 6 different companies, selected from those, narrowed it down to 3. We conducted interviews the first part of December, and Structurepoint was selected by the committee of about 5 or 6 of us. Consisted of the mayor, myself, Kristen, Kevin Fleetwood, Ron May, sorry Ron, I think that was it. And they were selected unanimously by everyone, so that's where we are at. Is there any questions?
Grant.
So what made this one stand out from the other 2 that you, why did you select this one as opposed to one of the other 2 that you interviewed?
They just seem to be more qualified. We've worked with American Structurepoint on several things, and just, gosh, I'm trying, you're testing my memory here. Just a number of things. We've always been satisfied with the work American Structurepoint has done for us in the past. Their presentation that they gave, what they can do for us, and just being comfortable with them.
How did their cost compare to the others?
How is their cost?
How did this proposed cost compare to the others' proposals with regard to same scope of project?
We didn't get we selected the company and then had them base their costs, see what theirs came in at, and then went from there as far as making the final selection.
So we didn't compare the prices from, so once you selected the company, then you asked for the,
And if it would have been something that was completely out of our budget, we would have had to go back to the table.
We did this as a qualified professional service, so that we selected the best company that we thought fit our needs. American Structurepoint and Grant specifically are working with our redevelopment commission, the TIF board, on their long-term capital improvement plan as well, which we consider to be a strong positive. Of course, they've worked with us on Veterans Way since day one to help with that as well. The economic development plan, they, being the paying for body, is the Greensburg Decatur County Economic Development Corporation. I believe they're still in talks with you about trying to finalize that. That was something that was sort of an add-on. Would this be of interest to the Economic Development Corp? We don't make the decisions for them, obviously. You have to chat with them. But I thought that was a good feature to add on from the county-wide side of things. So that's who they are. Grant, anything you'd like to add?
Well, I think the only comment I would have is my background, and I've discussed with the RDC. I have served in several municipal management positions, city or town manager, worked in Brownsburg, Fishers, worked out of state. I know a lot of times in my job, we've worked with unified development ordinances specifically, and this UDO is a big change from what you currently have. It'll be a much more user-friendly document, not only for developers coming in, but for staff, and will actually, I think, make development more possible in the community. Not giving things away, but helping understand the conditions that are here and how those developments can happen that leads to a tax base increase. So I know that was one thing we worked in a lot of discussions about that. It's been a while since that code's been updated, and has, I think, led to some developments not happening in the community. So that's probably one of the biggest areas where we're very good at. Our background, we've worked with other communities. Comprehensive planning also is a part of what we do. Most recently finished up Richmond and Union County, just to the east of here.
This is the first I've heard of it, so that's the reason
It was, as mentioned, it was discussed last year at the budget. Roundtables is something. Right. And then it has been, the committee was put together, and Kevin is the city council's representative on planning. And so that's why he was a part of that as well.
It's going to be a good overall. A lot of times your comp plan and UDO kind of blend together. We also have the master plan for the bicycle pedestrian that Structurepoint's doing. So a lot of this information I already do will kind of play in the comp plan. The UDO I'm really excited about as well. It's going to be, as he said, very advantageous to the community and bring more development here. Things are going to be a lot simpler, more, if you read one of our subdivision control ordinance, and I read it, 5 other people read it, we're all coming up with something different. This way it's going to kind of bring it all together, pretty simple terms to understand.
And the UDO's been talking about a long time.
Yeah, and a lot of communities are going to that.
We're excited for it. I think it'll be a good opportunity, as Sarah mentioned, been being worked on for a while. Of course, our comp plan is several years old, so it's time for that. But fair points. Other questions? If not, we take a motion to engage American Structurepoint to help us with our comp plan, followed by the Unified Development Ordinance. Moved by Dee, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rodney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, thank you, Grant, appreciate it.
Excited to get started.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, the other piece, Civic Plus contract for your office. Same contract we just talked about with Brenda. You'd like to share a little bit about what that means for you?
Sure. Basically, same concept as what Brenda just presented. Back when I started this position, they had a software program for building permits, code enforcements, field inspections, and that kind of thing. It's not very real user-friendly, I'll put it that way. So as Brenda shared with me, Sarah, you check out the Civic Systems. I did. I made some phone calls to Mike at Civic Systems. He sent some videos of different things that this part of it can do. Much more user-friendly. You're not going from one screen back to another, then back to another, and then back out of that. I mean, it's all like tabs you click on. It's such an easier flow. So I'll kind of break this down a little bit, but as you can see in front of you, we would actually be having 4 concurrent users. I'll say possibly. There's also a section where, and this wouldn't come out of our budget, but where our fire inspector could also use the same system, so when he does his yearly inspections. But we would allow him to get into our portion of it, because when he goes and does commercial inspections, building inspections, that way he can get into our system and make notes on that, so we can share a lot of that same information. But again, his license and stuff would come out separate, that would be in their budget. He's gonna get some more information on that here real soon, but right now we're just focusing on the part for our office that would allow us to do the building permits, code enforcements, which would be, you know, your junk, your grass, all that kind of stuff. Field inspections, which is much more user-friendly for an inspector when he is out in the field. It's as simple as an app on his phone, and he can each morning pull up his schedule of inspections, go in, see where they're at. Once he goes and says he does a footer inspection, mark as simple as a check mark that it was approved, and then it'll show what the next inspection would be once they were at that point. Very simple, very simple. I think it would be save us more time and just easier to use. I think it would be worth it, and the money is in the budget for that. So on that note, I do want to, where it says, on the last page, optional module pricing, the conversion of record, permit violation, conversion of inspection activity. You've got $3,000 and $9,000. Those will probably be a lot less than that. That is going to be converting data that is in our current software to the new software. We're not talking, there's not 20 years of data in there to transfer. That is, I had him just round it to what the highest would be to do that, but that will probably be less than that. And also the citizens portal part of that, we can put to where citizens can go online to fill out a permit, whatever permits we choose to put on there. So your commercial and residential, we probably won't put on there because those are more detailed. We want the people to come to us with the site plans and all that kind of thing. If somebody that's choosing an electrical permit, let's say, they can fill out that permit through the citizen portal, and they can even pay for it with a debit card, credit card that way. And I checked, and once that is paid, I believe then that would go immediately to the clerk's office, so we have less paperwork to fill out, carry that money down to the clerk's office with 2 other things filled out to go with it. It would just automatically connect with theirs, so that's what I like about that as well.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made by Jamie, seconded by Dee. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. And the utilities are considering this as well. The water board has given Donna temporary permission approval to go through the process of getting all this stuff pulled together. So the goal is to have all 3 offices on one system that would then all integrate with each other to help with. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
When is this expected to be invoiced?
Right now, I'm believing that for the clerk treasurer's office, they would start the conversion project in probably around the end of June, the 1st of July. And so what they would do is take all of our records and convert them into their program so that we're not hand entering everything. And that it would just be a conversion drop then at that point.
So pretty much coincide with running back into the building?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Hopefully we're hoping that it would be complete, so when we go back to the building, we're not in, like, and they do run a side-by-side to make sure the numbers work. You know, they stay with us for that, so.
That's what we hope for. Okay, the last thing is the contract with Rainbow Environmental. This is the company that we have hired outside of our contract on the City Hall remodel project to deal with asbestos. It was always outside of our contract to deal with that on our own. Anything that we encountered, we had to bring somebody in. This company came at the recommendation of our building contractor, CPM Management, that we've been working with. We thought the price was fair. We did operate under a tight time window, so this is our bid, if you will, or cost to do the service. Any questions on that? They've been on site for a week doing good work, so we're glad to see that. If not, we'll take a motion to approve. Moved by Glenn, second by Dee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We also have the last thing on the agenda. All of the claims are in your packet. Any questions, additions, corrections? If not, we'll take a motion to approve those as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made by Rodney, seconded by Jamie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, there's nothing else to come before the board. I would like to extend my thanks to all of the snow removal team. I know that there's been some slick spots out there in different areas. Yeah, with the overnight snow, it became quite challenging. We do not have a 24-hour crew, so they can only drive for so long. They have to take some time off, and then they try to get back on the road before things get moving too early in this community. They did great work over the weekend, so we appreciate that. Anything else? If not, take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Glenn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Thank you much. There is no city council meeting tonight, so everybody have a fantastic evening.